How many times it is optimal to start with going to the gym with the strength training?
So for beginner gym goers, I would recommend you can just start with 3 times so that you're basically not going too hard, too fast, and you have time to recover. Because when you're new to the gym, you will feel the sensation, it's called DOMS, where the day after your muscles are hurting quite a lot and you need to adapt to this. So if you were to go straight to 5, it's probably going to be too much.
That brings me to a next very good question. If I am in the pain after the workout, should I go and train or should I wait until the pain is almost completely gone?
Well, if you're asking me, I go.
Okay.
It's very individual, this one. It's kind of like saying if you have a cold, how long will it take to go away?
Yeah.
Everyone's different. When you're new, however, if you train 3 times a week every second day, that's completely fine. If you are in the process of building muscle and you're a little bit further down your training journey, there's going to be cases where there's no time to wait. You're going to be sore, and that's just what happens when you have muscle breakdown, and then you need to recover and you need to eat food. Probably what you need to look at is your nutrition. If you're feeling sore, you probably need to back up your training with supplements. You can chat to Lloyd about what's good for DOMS and muscle recovery.
Okay, so if let's say I did have a leg day and I'm still in a pain and it's my next leg day, so there is no effect that if I will go and do or train legs again, it doesn't, the pain that I'm feeling, it doesn't have the effect on me building muscles if I will train again.
Not exactly. Like it's also cumulative. Like if you're doing this just once or twice, but if you're going like every single day, obviously that's going to be counterproductive. But if you're training legs and it's a couple days and it's still hurting, it's fine.
How can people balance the strength training and the cardio as well if they are trying to lose more fat, not build muscle?
Well, this one, I like this question. We have at JM Fitness, we have training day and non-training day. However, non-training day doesn't include cardio. And what we do is we have different nutrition for these days to assist with building muscle on training day and burning fat on non-training day. So non-training day isn't a rest, it's a fat loss day. So we remove some of the carbs and have more fats. And if you add cardio onto this day, then you can fast track your fat loss results by doing that. So you can do both, you just change your nutrition. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, thank you. And what is the best time to train in the day for the optimal results? Or it's just very individual, so the people who are not the morning person, they can just go in the evening? Or is there any specific time of the day that your body, I don't know, feels better or it's better to gain more muscles?
For building muscle? Well, if your main goal is building muscle, you want to make sure that you've eaten enough food, really, because if you're training fasted, maybe you're not going to train as well, as heavy, you're going to be tired, your muscles are going to be a little bit depleted. So in this case, if you can train, at lunchtime or a little bit later, that allows you to have a meal a couple hours before, wait, then train, maybe have a shake and then eat again, like kind of cocoon your workout with nutrition to build muscle so that you're not depleting your muscle from your workout.
Now you scared me. I always try first thing in the morning and I'm trying to grow bigger. So is there, should I change my time?
Well, some people, they're time poor, or they've just got a lot of commitments with their job. And in this case, you would need to look at some kind of carb powder. There's many options for this. You can drink it prior to your workout, during your workout, or after. or if you're a bodybuilder or someone like yourself, which you're already eating a lot of food and you're already lean, and what you're struggling with is building size, you can do all three. So you don't need to have like a giant bowl of rice at 5 in the morning. You can simply have a shake with carbs, and then you can drink your BCAAs and you can add your carbs, and then you can back it up with a big meal afterwards so that you're not eating on a full stomach.
Yeah. Okay, I freaked out for a second. Thank you. So the dextrose is fine that I'm
So
having.
at JM Fitness, when we're building muscle and we're at a higher calorie part of our program, we always add in dextrose intra-workout to prevent muscle breakdown.
How do I know that I am eating right amount of the protein for the muscle growth? Do I need a coach, or is there the simple calculations people can do at home?
Yep. So obviously, we always recommend the coach. You can, if you don't have the budget to have a full-time personal trainer, there's many online coaches, which is more affordable. If you want to start with just doing a bit of your own calculations, you can simply take your body weight. So just for a round number, of your body weight 60, you can times it by around 2 would be the minimum, I would say. Or up to like 2.4 if you're trying to build muscle. If you're some vegetarians, they might not quite make that, or if your main goal is fat loss, not building muscle, then you could do like 1.8 would be the lowest.
Is it 2.4 for bodybuilding, for gaining a mass for ladies and for men, or is it different?
Some men, they probably go up to 3.
Okay.
Yeah, but by textbook, if I just had to say for everyone, 2 to 2.2.
Okay, should people follow a specific diet plan to see the best results at the gym for themselves, or can they find it online, or is it the best to discuss with somebody, or can they contact you for just the meal plan on how much they should eat of what per day to align with the results that they want to achieve?
Yep. At JM Fitness, we have many different food plans that we customize to the goals. So fat loss, hypertrophy, as we learned earlier, means building muscle, or fat loss or endurance. So you can look up these online. We have online programs at JM Fitness, or when you sign up for personal training, you can do also a nutrition plan with this. If you are someone that enjoys like data entry and logging things, then there's lots of different ways of logging your nutrition and tracking your macros, but you need the discipline of the admin of logging every food. If you cannot log every gram of food, even down to your coffee that you get on the shop at your work, then you're going to be missing a lot of calories. So I call these accidental calories. And I believe this is the main reason why people that do if it fits your macros, they're not losing body fat, because there's so many calories that we don't think about that are not logged. So I prefer to just stick to making sure you have your protein and stuff like that, rather than logging calories of vegetables and things like that.
Okay. Is there any ideal amount of the water to drink during and after the workout? Is there any effect on the bodybuilding?
You need water while you train because your muscles need water. So a common reason of why people may be sore is hydration. So they're not drinking enough water before, during, and after. Yeah, especially if you're doing a big bodybuilding workout and you're doing many reps and things like that. If you're not hydrated, you can also strain your muscle easy. During your workout, if you got a simple shaker, large shaker, it's about 750, I think, that'll be good. And then after the workout, you need that again. So that total of 1.5 just during and after.
Yeah. Very important question. In my plan, I have prescribed 3 to 4 liters of the water daily. Question is, do we count also the water that I mix my supplements in as a water, or is it not a water?
Yes. Good question again. So yeah, the water that you use for your supplements, it's counted. The water, however, that you use for tea and coffee is not counted because in fact it can be dehydrating, not hydrating.
What is the most effective way to lose fat and build the muscle at the same time?
Okay, so that's like a kind of a common question or myth. Most people say on the internet you can't build muscle while you're burning fat, or you can't become leaner while you're increasing muscle. But we have a lot of JM clients at the moment that are doing exactly that, building muscle and getting leaner, because we're super focused on our nutrition. So you need to be very, very serious with your nutrition if you want to do this. Otherwise, if you're doing like a bodybuilding workout and you're eating like dirty bulking, you're going to put on fat. But if you're doing bodybuilding training and you're watching your carbs and your fats and you're not having extra cheat meals and sugars, not during your workouts and things like that, it's very possible to become leaner but build muscle at the same time.
How can I avoid muscle soreness after the intense workout? Is there any supplement or anything? Is it the foam rolling after the intense workout helping to avoid the pain afterwards, or?
So depending on the muscle group, like main one being legs is probably the main one that people get sore, is, if you do a giant leg workout in the morning or lunch, and then you go and work at a desk the whole day, your legs are going to be very sore. So if you have this lifestyle, you need to make sure that you get up throughout the day and that also you're drinking enough water. If you are dehydrated, your muscles are going to become sore. And then in the evening, you will need to take things, a simple magnesium will help. And then during your workout, you can add in your EEAs as well.
And how can I create the balanced workout plan for overall fitness and strength?
An overall workout plans for fitness. When you say fitness, do you mean fat loss or do you mean like cardio fitness?
I mean, yeah, cardio fitness, yeah.
Cool. So that's a good question. So you can simply create like more of a circuit style workout. Also, a popular phase that we have at JM Fitness is upper lower. So rather than just having like a bro split of legs day and uppers day, you can pair, for example, your quads with your back and your hamstrings with your pressing, because whenever you're using your legs, you're burning more calories. And if you go upper and lower, you're changing your blood flow from your legs to your upper, and it increases your heart rate. So you're actually going to be increasing your cardiovascular fitness at the same time as doing your gym work.
And what is your opinion on the superset? So for example, when you said that you create the plans, sometimes that you do have like an upper lower.
Yeah.
And because I've heard so many opinions on the internet that they say that the supersets are not good because you are not giving it all to each exercise. But I think, for example, the upper lower, you just train one exercise lower body, the other one with the superset with the upper body. So what's your take on the supersets?
I love supersets because back to your last question, I really love for my clients to be feeling lean and strong whilst building muscle. And I believe if you do supersets, that can also be a contributing factor to your conditioning. What else to do with that question did you mean?
If the supersets are good or bad?
If they're good. So if you are like a hard gainer, which means like an ectomorph, common person would be like a very tall, slim guy that just goes to the gym and eats and finds it hard to put on muscle. Doing a superset may slow down his muscle building. So for him, he needs to make sure that he's doing his rep ranges of 8 to 12, waiting 90 seconds, drinking his intra-workout carbs, eating after doing all the things, because otherwise he's just gonna just stay the same and he's gonna really struggle for putting on mass.
What would you recommend for the people that are the easy ways to stay consistent with their training and nutrition? So we are basically giving a tip for somebody very new to fitness.
Okay, best way to stay consistent first with your training is to, my favorite tip, always train on Monday and always train like your most important body part that you're trying to work on. A lot of people do the body part that they enjoy to train, but for example, if your goal is to improve your lower body, but you enjoy doing bench press because it's your favorite, make sure you do your legs on Monday and then you can do your bench press on your second workout. And then best way to stay consistent with your nutrition is to just be very disciplined with your protein. No matter if you don't track or you go off the wagon a little bit with your carbs and fats, as long as you get your protein right every day, then you can start to work on your carbs and fat after that.
Okay, what would you say, how important is a sleep for the muscle recovery, and what is the least amount of the sleep we should be getting every day?
Okay, well, probably I'm not a great example of this, but by textbook we should have 8 hours sleep. And then what was the second question?
How important it is for the muscle recovery. So, for example, if I'm not sleeping enough, for example, 5 hours a day for 3 days because of some drama at work, would it have a negative effect on me gaining muscles?
Yeah, it can definitely have a negative effect on muscle building and also fat loss, believe it or not. When we reach our deepest sleep, we make a great hormone called growth hormone, and we need this for building muscle and burning fat. So if you are never actually reaching that deep sleep, you're missing out on this great natural hormone that's going to help you with results in all parts of your program.
What is the role of the carbs in terms of gaining muscles and losing fat? So one option is for gaining muscles. What is the role? What role does it play, and how bad or good it is for the people trying to lose fat?
Okay, cool. Well, one of the great things I love about the JM Nutrition is I love to coach others how to eat more carbs to not only build muscle but also to burn fat. So with our programming, what we do is we increase our carbs every 1 to 2 weeks in a structured way, very carefully, until we reach the top of our food pyramid, I call this. And we're going to stay there depending on the length of our prep. And obviously you need these carbs for building muscle, but we also need these carbs to create a set point where the body adapts to a new amount of food. So a lot of females in particular, they adapt to eating less because they're trying to lose weight. So they'll cut their carbs, and their body now gets a new set point, like energy in and energy out, where it can survive on like only eating one meal with carbs. And so that's how you plateau. But if you gradually increase your carbs in a structured way and you're having carbs up to 5 times or however many, your body's now adapted to this much food, and that's how much energy it requires to survive and move and train and things like that. And if you can hold that up for a little while, you can gradually decrease. And then when you go back to what you were eating prior to starting your increase, your body now thinks it's on a diet even though it's where it was. So it feels like a deficit. And this is how we start to burn fat, because it goes to look for that food, the rice or whatever's in your lunch plan. You take it off and it now has to resort to your body fat for energy. And this can make you feel tired, but this means that your body is now burning your body fat for energy and not just using your food for energy. So that's why eating more is just as important for fat loss as it is for bodybuilding.
How can people prevent injuries when they are lifting heavy weights at the gym?
So yeah, to prevent injuries, the most important thing is not to rush and to always make sure you do enough warm-up sets. And this is just as important to a someone that's been lifting for 5 years or longer as it is for someone that's only been lifting for 5 weeks. Because if you need to do 100 kilos on the bar, you're going to need to do extra warm-up sets. And this is for the brain and for the body, so that you're not just going straight into it. And then obviously doing mobility and stretching prior to the workout.
What is the difference between functional training and bodybuilding?
So the difference between functional training and bodybuilding is functional training means movement patterns that you use for general life, or moving better in your life and in the gym. So a leg extension, it's not a functional movement in your daily life. You're not really doing this movement, right?
Okay.
However, you might be sitting down on a chair. So like a squat movement is good for this. And then bodybuilding, we're going to do more isolated exercises, because the purpose of it is not to move well, it's literally to build muscle. So sometimes we do a mixture of a compound movement, like a squat, which means using the whole body, and an isolated movement, just to really get into those muscle fibers to build muscle.
How can I improve my flexibility and mobility to enhance my workouts?
Okay, so mobility and flexibility, people think it's the same. Some people might think it's the same, but it's a little bit different. So mobility we do prior to the workout. So that means, more about the joints and the movement. So getting them ready for the workout, or if you have a prior injury, you can do like a rehab style exercise to activate like the rotator cuff or the glutes, so that your deadlift and bench and things like that perform better. And then flexibility is more like stretching, so we do that after. Reason being, you don't want to overstretch the muscle, because then you're actually weakening the muscle before you're about to lift weights. So leave most of your stretching to after, unless you do a dynamic movement, which is why at JM programs or Pato Performance, places like that, we do like swinging the leg. It's like a dynamic movement rather than like a static lunge, because then we may overstretch the muscle. You can do that after the workout, or you can even go and do like a yoga class on a separate day to your workout.